Welcome to Algebra 1 release question number 60. It says Leanne correctly solved the equation x squared plus 4x equals 6 by completing the square. So how do we do that? We saw that in a previous question here in this set of questions, but we didn't actually do that fully in a question yet. So we're going to see the full way to do a completing the square problem here. Which equation is part of her solution? Okay, so I'm going to, even though it says which equation, I'm going to show you the whole thing, how it would be solved the whole way, but we'll figure out which one of these matches up with what we have as we solve this. So we have x squared plus 4x, and then I'm going to leave a blank spot here. To complete the square, excuse me, we need to have something added to both sides. So that's going to be adding the same thing here and here. This is going to equal, since I had x squared plus 4x equal to 6, I have x squared plus 4x equal to 6 here in red, and then the green stuff is the stuff I'm going to add. Now what the green stuff is, what goes in here, should be b over 2a squared. So what is b? What is a? B is right here. It's this value. It's this positive 4. And then your a value is the number in front of the x squared, which is, there is no number written there, so we assume it's an invisible 1. And so we have 4 over 2 times 1 squared, which is 4 over 2, which would be 2, and 2 squared would equal 4. So what gets filled in right here? A positive 4. And you're going to add that to both sides of the equation. And so what do we have left here? Let's make sense of what we have left. We have x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 10. Now notice we were completing the square. The whole point of completing the square is so that we can get something squared. That's the nature of the phrase right there. That's exactly what we're doing. We completed the square so that we can have something times itself, something squared. So here, what would be this factored out? This would be x plus, well, you can think of it like this too if that helps you. You've got this 4 going here, you've got the middle 4, that coefficient going there. It's got to be 2 and 2. That's the only numbers that will multiply to 4 and add to 4. So you've got x plus 2 times x plus 2. In other words, x plus 2 squared would equal 10. So from there, yes, we could figure what else we have here, but this would be my final answer based on what I see here. I'm going to continue this problem for those of you that are wondering, well, how, if I did have to solve this, Mr. Wagner, how would I solve this completely? We'll get to that in just a moment here. But the answer shows up right there. We've got 10. How could we solve this, though? How could we continue this problem? We would take x plus 2, the square root of x plus 2 squared. We would take the square root of both sides. We would think of this as either the positive or the negative value of the square root of 10. And what happens to squares and square roots? Well, they cancel each other out. And so we would just have x plus 2 equal to plus or minus radical 10. Subtract 2 from both sides. This would be your solution or solutions for x. You would actually have 2. Negative 2 plus the square root of 10 and negative 2 minus the square root of 10. So this would be a final answer if it said solve for x. It doesn't say solve for x though, it just says which equation is part of her solution. It was that one right there. So number 60, choice B.